A good evening or good morning. I haven't decided when I'm going to upload this myself. Gonzo, opposite me. Well, it's not actually opposite me, long way away, actually. Opposite me is a camera. And then past the camera, there's a cable. And then through that, and there's a screen. We've got the Beckmeister General. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Gonzo. How are you?
I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I've had a long drive today, 2 long drives. I'm not sure. Does it count if you've had a break, or is it just one long drive? I'm not so sure. How are you anyway?
I'm good. I'm been putting Christmas decorations up. I am
on your jumper.
Yeah, I've been just attaching bows to myself strategically all day. That's all I'm doing.
And I see you've put them. Is that a headrest, or is it a bit of a prison? Is that a bars of a prison or something that you've wrapped lights around?
I'm in a prison. I'm kept in a cell, and I just wrap fairy lights around it.
Okay, and I noticed you've got an R. Actually, they probably won't see this. It's cropped. It'll be cropped.
They won't see that, but the R, actually, a quick explanation is attached to it is my doggy's collar when he passed away.
Oh no! I wish I hadn't have said it now.
That's if anyone sees any of my videos, that's what that is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am sorry. I wish that'd teach me. Crikey, put me foot in it again.
You've ruined the video.
I've lowered. You probably don't want to talk about West Ham anymore. Should we just have a cry or something, shall we?
Yeah, I just think I need a moment.
Absolutely. I've ruined it. Take 2. Don't mention R. Anyway, right. I've been on the road all day. Most of the day. You tell me what's been happening in the world of West Ham, because they didn't want to talk about it on TalkSport.
So I'd say the biggest news that's come out of West Ham today is that Antonio is out for another 4 weeks with his hamstring. I'd go out on a limb, no pun intended, and say that it's because he was started against Villa and he shouldn't have been.
Well, just as when we was prepare-vous-ing, which is you say prepare in French, as I was prepare-vous-ing for this video, I did notice, and I saw the headline. It said Antonio has managed to injure himself, which I thought was excellent, like he'd been sort of punching his leg or something like that. So you're blaming Moyes, are you?
Okay. No, yes, a little bit, not completely, but I think Moyes is partly to blame. I think the physios as well, and Antonio himself, because he must have known when he was out there that he wasn't up to it. Now, for me, within the first 10-15 minutes, I could see that Antonio was not up to it. And I actually said on my social media and in the watch along that I think he's probably started too soon. Moyes started him too soon. I don't think he needed to start that game.
You can prove that you said that early on, can you? You can prove that.
I've got the evidence.
Have you?
I've got the evidence.
What's your? You say your social media. How many accounts have you got?
I've got 9, and all of them stated. All of them stated that Moyes started him too soon.
What's your
I've got one.
Okay, well, what's it called? What's the handle of it?
_blonde.
Becky_blonde.
Don't write the word underscore. It's just a symbol.
What happens if you get some of that, like that really cheap hair dye one day, and you're doing something and you turn ginger or something? Would you?
I'd be locked out of the salon by my hairdresser and barred forever.
But would you change the Twitter handle?
I did, because I used to be Specky Brunette. Then when I went blonde, I went Specky Blonde.
Yeah.
But I paid so much to keep this blonde. I'm not changing.
Well, you confused people because people thought you were on the Manchester United's video.
Do you know what? It could have been. I don't know. Yeah, I was tired yesterday. It could have been me. It could have been someone.
It could have been anyone.
It could have been anyone. But I think it was a lovely girl from Man U YouTube rather than me. It wasn't me there yesterday.
Okay, right. Well, anyway, I'm pleased. I'm pleased that you would keep your Twitter handle. In terms of Michail Antonio, do you think? I mean, I know what I think. This is bad news. Are you worried, or do you think it's sort of more liberating for Sebastian Haller? It means Moyes doesn't have a choice anymore. He has to play him, and he has to put his faith in him.
So I'm 50-50 because it unfortunately leaves us with one striker. Now Antonio's out, so that's a problem in itself. We are left with one single striker. Obviously, we have Yarmolenko to stand in his place, which I wouldn't do.
Literally stand in his place.
I wouldn't do that. But we just have one, and it's no good that our squad depth. I know this has been discussed before, and kind of January rapidly coming towards us. It's an issue. Do I think it's good because I think Haller will get to start 100% because I backed him? I mean, I've had many comments in my own videos on the channel about my love and support for Sebastian Haller being completely incorrect. I think he should start, and I think he should have been starting. So I think, yes, it's liberating for him. Yes, it will build his confidence. But ultimately, Antonio not being a part of the team is a loss for us. I think we will see the difference not having him at all for the next month.
Yeah, I think my major, I don't know, I was going to say concern. I do think it also gives it a little bit of clarity, whereby it takes that temptation that Moyes might have had to actually play Sebastian, to play Michail Antonio and rush him back quickly for the reasons that you suggested. That's out of the equation now. So I just wonder if now he's going to stop. I don't mean the shape, but I mean that he's going to tweak the system somewhat to better suit Sebastian Haller, rather than, as it feels to me, that he's going to get Sebastian Haller to play in a system that better suits Michail Antonio. Is this? I think this is going to force the issue now. What do you think? He basically tailors the team now for the remaining month for Sebastian Haller. And let's be fair, even January is coming up now. We're never going to make a signing on the 1st of January. It will be, so it's not a month. It's going to be 6 weeks, 7 weeks, something like that, right?
So for me, I personally don't think he's going to tweak the team. I think it will stay as is, and I think he'll start Haller because he doesn't have a great deal of choice, and it will stay the same. Now, the plus for me is Benrahma. I think Benrahma should start with Haller.
I know. I saw it. You don't have to prove that. I know you said that. I don't know about the other stuff. I'll have to check your social media.
Benrahma's key for Haller to succeed in December.
So would you start him tomorrow? Tomorrow? Hold on, I don't know when I'm releasing this video. Tomorrow, today. Would you start him?
Oh, I'll start him tonight, and I'd start him tomorrow. That's how strongly.
Both. Yeah, fixture congestion is a problem there, though, isn't it? Really, if he knackered, he'd get injured as well.
If for me, I would start Benrahma. Yeah, in place of Fornals. I've got nothing against Fornals. I think he's a fantastic player. I just think Benrahma gives West Ham the creativity that I think has been missing in the last few matches. When Benrahma came on, it changed everything up, in my opinion. And I think he offers creativity.
I would prefer it on this channel if you could give the full title to our Spanish midfielder, please.
I enjoy the El Fornicator. I just don't think we should start him.
Okay, that's fine. That's more than acceptable. Obviously, Manchester United, which is the game that we're alluding to. Yeah. I've already done the preview with Gio, who then scarpered off and did a separate one with a young lady.
It wasn't me, by the way.
It wasn't you. So I'm following. So it's like a battle, really. How are you feeling about that game?
Do you know, I feel better about the United game than I felt going into Villa.
Really?
Yeah, genuinely. I don't think United will hassle us as much as Villa did. Villa was a tough game, and it was tough from start to finish. I don't think United will be as tough.
Interesting. What? So you think you're going to win?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, fair enough.
I think we're gonna win this. Do you know anything about who's in and who's out? Is Rashford?
Well, funnily enough, I said I was travelling down the motorway, and TalkSport didn't want to talk about West Ham, but they were more than happy to talk about Manchester United and Sylvester Stallone. Strangely, not that he has anything to do with Manchester.
Talk about West Ham. No one wants to talk about.
They don't want to talk about West Ham. No, they sort of ignore us, pretend we're not here. He might be fit. He might be fit. He's certainly got a chance of being fit than Michail Antonio. But here's the thing. When I went to my destination today to see my friend John, who is we were doing some delivery bits and pieces and stuff like that, and it wasn't a drug deal, by the way. It made it sound so dodgy. It was a pinball machine stuffed with cocaine. No, I'm joking. and he's a Tottenham fan, and we were talking about football as we do, and he was saying, he was talking about his bet, and he was saying, "Yeah, I got you down to win against Man U." He said, "You fancy?" I said, "I can't do it." The West Ham fan inside me, I can't quite believe, because if we beat Manchester United, it takes me into a dream world, and when I say dream world, I'm almost mean a state of fantasy whereby if we beat Manchester United, we've played really well against Arsenal, really well against Liverpool. We've taken points on Man City. We've beaten Leicester. We've beaten Wolves. Done really well against Tottenham. Again, and then we go and beat Man United if that's the case. And then there's a possibility we're going to third. My little pea brain can't compute West Ham being in third. I can't, because at some point I keep putting it off. It's not a nasty bill, right, that is left unopened on the kitchen side with the envelope still, which I know there's a bill in. I'm not saying it's very reflective. You've learned a lot about me here, right? And it ain't going to go, but I almost don't want to admit it. I want to ignore it. And that's why I say, the Fulham game's going to be quite telling. I'll tell you what, the Sheffield United game is quite telling. We'll find out a lot about ourselves, Aston Villa. I keep putting it off. And what am I putting off is that final dream, that final little bit to think, we are. I can't even bring myself to say the words now, so I'm gonna make it sound. I'm gonna broaden it out to say a top 8 team, but that's what my brain's making me do. My heart is telling me different. It's saying higher. Go on, higher.
Right,
Like that.
Brucey, calm down.
Nothing for a pair. Nothing for a pair. It's not Brucey. That's Harry Kane. They look very similar. Have you noticed? You never see them together, Harry Kane and Bruce Forsyth.
I don't fancy Brucey as a striker, but
No. He does look a bit like Bruce Ford and Jimmy Hill, doesn't he?
A love child of the pair of them.
If Bruce Forsyth and Jimmy Hill were at it, their offspring would have been Harry Kane.
I didn't need that image, though.
Well, you started it, really. To be fair,
you started that. That was
we're very polite by saying offspring.
Offspring,
yes, yeah. When Brucey sired Harry, there we go.
That sounds
good old siring, yeah.
To be honest.
So are you allowing yourself to dream, not about the Forsyth Jimmy Hill thing, but
I mean that's going to happen tonight.
It's absolutely, yeah.
That's going to happen. That's at the forefront of my mind now. I've totally forgotten there's a game.
I might even put it on the thumbnail.
No.
Get some photoshopping skills.
Hopefully clothed. So do you know what? I'm allowing myself to dream. And the reason I'm allowing myself to dream, because the one telling thing about the Villa game, even though it wasn't a very pretty win, it wasn't very attractive football, we were able to keep our heads up and continue the fight until the end. And that is the one thing that I think Moyes has changed in us as a team. And I think that will help carry us through. And I think that's going to play a big part in tomorrow or today, depending on when you're watching this.
So, are you a full Moyes? I hate this. Actually, I don't even know I'm asking this. I hate when people do to me. Are you Moyes in or out? I'm not saying that, but are you still immune to his talents? Are you behind that? Well, not behind him. Again, it makes it sound like you're booing him. You're not. How are you feeling? Are you happy? Are you fully supportive? Do you want him to remain? Do you want him to have a new contract? All that stuff.
I would be like peeking over the fence. I'm one of those annoying that won't quite commit to I hate him and he's the best thing we've ever had. Do I think he should get another contract? Yeah. I think he's made enough of a change for us. And I saw some people on Twitter say it's too soon to say, but I know the board were talking about they were going to see our standing at Christmas and then decide whether he gets a new contract. For me, I think he does. I think he's proved enough. I think there is enough of a physical and mental change in West Ham for the better to say, yeah, he's doing it right. Is he perfect? No, but then no manager's perfect. Do I still think he makes some wacky sort of in-game choices? 100%. His double substitution against Villa was a surprise for everyone.
Yes, it was.
Especially me. It was a big surprise. Will he do that again? Probably not. That could have been a one-off. But I still don't think he's perfect. But he's definitely made a difference. There's a change in us, and I think we have to look at that and give him credit for it. I'm neither Moyes in or out. I'm on the fence about him.
Peeking
On
over
the fence.
peeking over the fence. Not even sat on the fence.
I'm sort of a bit like that.
Yeah, and you're not sure whether the grass is greener or not. The way I look at it is there are some elite managers whose names are familiar with everybody, and Klopp and Guardiola and Mourinho is having a renaissance. Now, what's the French word for renaissance?
Isn't that the French?
Oh, that's a good point. And
German at school, Gonzo. I did not do French.
Our Renaissancestein is German.
Yes.
Und Renaissancestein. Yeah. Renaissance is Greek. Is the Greek. But yeah, I know I am multilingual.
You're a linguist.
I certainly am.
I'm sure that's not the first time we've had that said to you, Gonzo.
No, I am. I'm a cunning linguist, certainly. I choose my words very, very carefully. With regards to the elite managers, and I do, as I say, that they are that sort of set group, and it may be others, maybe Pochettino. I haven't said that he's not won the trophies, but you would say he's a high level manager. I think so. I think there's that group, and then I believe that there are the rest.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's almost like the Premier League sometimes, where there's a top four, and I do think that within that sort of tiered system, I think that Moyes is there. I think he's an elite manager. No, but what I do think is even if Moyes went, it's not like we would get one of those managers who is in the sort of section above. I think we would be getting that kind. Now, it's quite funny because there is sometimes. We're all guilty of it in whatever we do. Sometimes you can read too much into stats and stuff like that, but sometimes there's an anomaly. And I do think the anomaly for David Moyes was getting the Manchester United job, because I don't believe the David Moyes that left Everton, and at the time when he left Everton, they were right up there as well. We had a very, very good team. I don't think West Ham would have had a sniff of getting that David Moyes. So all that's happened is, I think, because of the Man United job, which we've now seen wasn't really because of Moyes. Do you know why? Why? Because Van Gaal had a go. A few of them had a go, and it didn't really work out for them. Actually, his stock had lowered. I think going to a country, going to Spain where he didn't know any of the language. If you've not seen it, by the way, go and watch David Moyes' press conference in Spain, right? Where he's obviously not as linguistically talented as myself.
Having seen the video
have you seen it? Have you seen it? Because he turns around and he says he's trying to speak Spanish, and he turns around and he says, "Yeah, well, I thought we went to uns dos tres times and had a real go at them." And it was fantastic. So it's not quite as good as Steve McLaren's. It's not quite as good as Joey Barton's, but I think it's the third best. You've seen Steve. You've seen Steve. How you say Champions League?
It was a mixture of Dutch and Sean Connery.
Yeah. Oh, money penny. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, bless him. Sad. Everyone's dead. Jimmy Hill, Sean Connery, and Bruce Forsyth.
I know.
He's dead, isn't he, Bruce Forsyth?
Yeah, Brucey passed.
Bless him.
He went home.
And this has started off in a sad tone with the dog incident, and now
Jimmy Hill with Brucey
and Sean Connery. Deary me. Anyway,
how many days left for 2020? There's still time for another poor celebrity to peg it.
Yes, I know there is, and there was another one as well. Anyway, I don't want to talk about this morbid stuff anymore. I can't even remember what my point was. I'm sure I was trying to make a point. Do you?
David Moyes' tier system.
David Moyes' tiers. Moyes' tiers.
1, 2, or 3.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I don't think there's a whole list of people that are loads better than David Moyes waiting to come in at West Ham. I really don't. And I've said so many times, I think there was actually only a list of 2 that would have taken it in terms of working for the board and working for Sullivan at that given time. So I understand that he does have his limitations, but the ones that don't are the perfect ones. Yeah. And I know perhaps we don't like Klopp because because he's Klopp, and however, he is pretty much close to a perfect manager, and as is Guardiola and people like that. We don't stand a chance of getting him. For that reason, I think you've got to give him a new contract. That you've got to stick with him. I think you've got to do anything, but just be realistic and appreciate that at the moment that's the best manager we could have got. Had things been differently, had the Trent had the change from Upton Park to the Olympic Stadium have yielded the extra 100 million in revenue each year and propelled us to a top 4 club, I'm quite sure we'd be looking at one of those managers. Perhaps it would be Pochettino, who was manager of West Ham or something like that. But at the moment, this is where we are, and I think he's doing a tremendous job. And I think you mentioned two things there which are really interesting, which was you mentioned the mental and you mentioned the physical. And that's absolutely right, because we seem to have a steely, determined mindset. And the fitness is key. It is so key. We are just so hard working. Stuart Pearce said it in a radio interview today. No secret, just hard work. We know Moyes' mantra: don't run, don't play. There's no secret to it. And the funny thing is, I looked at it when I heard the interview, it almost like it was a secret. And I thought, shh, don't tell anyone, just in case all the other managers say, do you know what, lads, I think what we're going to do is 15 more minutes running. I'm sure there's more to it than that. And I'll go back to Harry Redknapp. And Harry Redknapp said when Arsene Wenger came in, Arsene Wenger created a sort of dietary and fitness revolution in Premier League football. So basically, I think the idea, well, everyone was having a crafty fag, steak and chips and a pint before waddling onto the football pitch. And then Arsene Wenger came in, made them do some press-ups and eat some pasta and fish, and then everyone became brilliant. So that's the sort of, I've paraphrased maybe just slightly there, but Harry Redknapp once said, I don't care how much pasta you give a player if he can't kick enough in football. He said, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think what Moyes has done mentally is that, and they've done all over their own social media and in interviews saying how close they all are. And Cresswell, I saw in an interview today, saying it's the closest he's known the team to be in years, and that is so important. And I mean, I think every fan knows the importance of a team being cohesive. A cohesive team is going to work better than people that are disconnected and they aren't working properly together. I think you can see that on the pitch, and that's helped us immensely. And I think I said a while ago, if that's all Moyes it will manage to do for us, which is to bring us together and give us the fight, not to give up in the second half, then to me, he's done a lot. Because we weren't, under Pellegrini, I don't think we always played in the most cohesive way. I must say, Moyes, as you said, it's a steely determination I think he's installed in them. And that's enough for me to say, yeah, keep him. Let's see if he's done this now. Let's see what he can bring further down the line. Oh, listen, even if we go third, do I think we're going to stay there? No, probably not. We'll fall down a few spaces. But if we get there, amazing. And that will be partly down to Moyes and his backroom team as well. So I don't just want to credit Moyes, because I think the backroom team has been
I think you're right.
Immense in the change. And I think if Moyes didn't have that team, it would be slightly different. I think having Pearson, Irvine and Nolan has made a huge difference as well, a backup that's really helped the team.
No, you're absolutely right. And funny enough, this is something I've been looking into for a video, a sort of upcoming video. This is what he does, by the way. It's what he does. He's done it. He did it at Everton twice. In the end, I actually think Arteta's. I think it was Steve Round. I think Arteta's nicked Steve Round, who was one of Moyes' sort of lieutenants and understudies. And Arteta's gone and said he loved the way that Moyes built his back room team. So he's actually always done it. And it's something that Fergie used to do, funny enough, which is not be afraid to choose talent to work around you that may well threaten your job. And Fergie was always doing it. He would get the most talented coaches. I mean, Steve McLaren was an excellent coach, never quite got to be a fantastic manager, probably because of his inability to speak Dutch correctly. But Carlos Queiroz as well was a really good manager, a really good coach as well. He was such a good coach. He managed a Portugal team. Rene Mullenstein, I think his name was, one of the best Dutch coaches in years, and Mike Phelan as well. And he was always happy to take these coaches and think, okay, let's see what you can do. And I think Moyes does that as well. So whilst I agree about the backroom team, and let's not forget Paul Nevin, who has come up with these wonderful set pieces and everything, and it was poached from the England squad, Gareth Southgate's set piece specialist. So I do think he would always have done that. That's what Moyes does. He builds a strong, to use a term I don't even know, but it's a coaching team. I was going to say leadership group, like I've become working in an office or something like that, holding a conference call, which I guess I am in many respects, holding a conference call, just
with a really disappointing person. But yes, you are.
No, not at all. Right, okay. So listen, I'm going to wrap it up now because we've been waffling for 25 minutes and 17 seconds. Final thoughts ahead of tomorrow's game.
We're going to win 2-1.
Ooh, nice. I think we're going to lose. I do, but it's not.
Score.
Pardon?
Do you think we'll score? Do you think we'll get a goal out of it?
No, I don't. It's just really hard. It's really hard, and I don't. As Gio said last night, he said, "Oh, you don't normally predict that we'd lose." That doesn't mean I predict we'll win every game. I don't, but I can't. It's just my heart. My heart is telling me this can't happen. This is now time for West Ham failure. It's now time for the engine to stall, because it's already gone on too long. I already can't handle the fact that we won 3 games in a row with a plus goal difference. These things just do not happen. Plus goal difference, 3 wins in a row, not 9 points from 3 games. Anything is mathematically possible. I'm a West Ham fan. I can't even count to 9, such as our limitation on the amount of points we can get. So, I just think it's going to come to an end. I desperately hope I'm wrong, and you can hopefully. Well, everyone can tease me afterwards, because I'll be over on the main channel at the end of the game doing the review as soon as the final whistle is blown, or until we've had a dubious VAR decision, and 8 minutes after the final whistle is supposed to have been blown, I will join you. I'll be around an hour and 5 minutes before kickoff. Charlie and Tom are doing the watch along, and the Beckmeister General will be over here on this lovely channel. I don't know. What say you? 20 minutes, 30 minutes after the final whistle?
20. Say 20 to be safe.
I'm not going to hold you down. It's not. I'm just,
I like to talk. People may have noticed my videos are progressively longer. I like to talk, so we'll say 20 minutes, and then you can come.
You've got to upload it. You've got to upload it. You'll be around at some point after kickoff.
I'll be around at some point. About half an hour afterwards, I'm all done and it's up. But like, before I go, quickly, one more question for you: how many penalties are they going to get?
No, it doesn't count anymore. It doesn't matter. There is no top club bias. I know we're not. I'll tell you what we should do. Fans, quickly. Fans back. What say you about that?
So, okay, for personally, if I'd have been able to go, I wouldn't have. It's part health reasons, part I'll just wait till everyone's back. I think. I'm not going to say the sentence, it's not football. It is. And having those fans there is going to help the team. It's going to be nice for the fans that are there. For me, I'd rather hold off, watch it on telly, watch the watch along, and then go back when I can see everyone. Because for me, that is such a social part of match day for me. So I think it's great. Obviously, they can't do much. There's no singing, hugging, moving, anything like that. And I don't know if this is true, that they can have alcohol outside on the concourse, but they have to be seated at a table.
Well, I mean, well, listen, whatever. I don't want to overly poo-poo. I'll tell you why I don't want to, because I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody's attempts to make it work, because this is all we're dealing with. This is not the rules or anything. These are people that have a job, who have been charged with the task of making something work. Okay, how can we get the fans to have a drink? How can we do it legally? So someone might have said, okay, we're gonna have to sit down at tables. I don't think it's ideal. I don't, but I don't want to have a go, because people are trying their hardest to make it work. But I will tell you something from my point of view, just to echo what you say there. I know I would struggle at the football, because on a couple of occasions that we've actually been out for a meal, I struggle waiting in the queue with the mask on to then be seated, so then you go on the seat, and then once you sat down at the seat, you take the mask off, and and then you want to go and I want to go up to the buffet car. I mean, you can't do that. We'll come to you. Oh, actually, can you take the drinks off the tray? All right, well, that's no hardship, but it's all so different. And then I want to go to the toilet. All right, okay, if you get up to the toilet, put your mask back on and follow the yellow and black tape around the one-way system round the restaurant, and I find that difficult enough. And Yeah, did we go? Technically, did we go out for a meal? Yeah, we did. Was it nice to have a change of scenery? Yes. But was it fun? I don't know. I'm not. No, I'm not. It wasn't. It was. It was almost like the shadow, the ghost of going for a meal. It wasn't actually going for a. That the sort of freedom that goes with it. And I suspect from myself, I would have the same attitude towards going out. Oh no, you can't see your friends. You can't go and have a pint and all the rest of it. And yes, say you can't jump up and down on top of Tony when we score a goal, or do you know what I mean, or anything like that. There's so much of the ritual going down the stairs to have a pint at half time, and and all the build up, and do you know what? I know, so going down the boats, I don't have to go out for 5 hours or anything like that before I go to a game and get drunk. That doesn't have to happen. But I would like to at least be able to socialise with the people for a little bit, and for it to be nice. Then once we're in there, once we've been tested, or if they do that, then actually within your bubble you're fine. But even then, I just find it really hard. Everyone on their best behaviour, masked up, and all the rest of it.
It's going to be difficult, even when we can all go back, vaccine aside and all of that. It's still going to be slightly different. It's not going to be back to normal for a long time. But I'd rather that normal than the 2000 at the moment. But exciting for the people that are going, and
Yes.
I think they've made it as safe as possible, and that's all we can ask for. That they're their best, like you said, to make it as safe as possible for fans to attend the football. But for me, I'll wait until we can all go back.
Yeah, but the people that have agreed to go or said that they want to go are not like you and I. They're desperate to go. They really want to. They're not. They're probably saying, no, I just want to get out. I want to go. I want to go to the football. And I think because of that, they're probably going with a different attitude that I would go with anyway. So they're going to enjoy it more because they're not as bloody miserable as I am. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, if you're miserable, so am I. So
yeah. So right. Well, from two, I don't know why I looked up there. There's no camera up there. Right, from two miserable old goats.
It's not there.
No, it's there. It's there. Beckenstein, the Beckmeister, Money Penny. We'll say goodbye. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow at.
What time's the game finish? Half an hour. The game's done.
Half an hour today. Yeah. Okay. Well, goodbye from the Beckmeister General. Goodbye from me.